Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until probably about 5 o'clock. See, it's going to be a rather short show. Sorry. But I am tired. And Mrs. Livingston is home. So, it is what it is. But welcome to the show. I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm having a decent day. Doing a lot of raining out there. But let's get to it. As you can see, today we're going to do Constitution stuff. But hold on, let me go back to the normal. We're not going to do Constitution yet. So let's do that. But we're going to get to the Constitution today. We are reading Article 1 of the Constitution. Now, I do have to say this. I have some kind of disclaimers. I didn't get an opportunity to put together a presentation the way that I want to put together a presentation. So what's today? Thursday? Today's Thursday. We may read some Constitution tomorrow. No, there's a really good chance I won't get an opportunity tonight to put together a presentation either. So on either Wednesday or Thursday, I'll have a much better presentation put together than whatever we're going to end up doing today. And I was trying to throw some stuff together and nothing's working. Like nothing's working the way that I want it to work to give the presentation that I would like to give. But we're going to read it. We are going to read Article 1 of the Constitution today. Article 1, I think there are 10 sections, and we're going to read them. So just be ready. Be ready. It's coming today. I promise you. But before any of that, I have to say hi to the people who say hi to me. Robert Willis, good afternoon. He's first right out the gate with his fingers. I can't hold them up too long. Balloons will start coming all over the place. But good afternoon, Robert Willis. Erica Hummins representing Reading, second out the gate. Good afternoon, Erica Hummins. Good afternoon. Got Daryl Carpenter. He says he was first, and he was first on Facebook. He was first on Facebook. Thank you, Daryl, for checking us out. I appreciate you. Maria Smith, representing North College Hill. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And Daryl says he's representing Forest Park, by the way. And Anthony Prosser rounding out the top 5. Good afternoon, Anthony Prosser. I appreciate you. I appreciate those top 5 checking in, being first right out the gate. I like that. It makes me feel good. Y'all don't understand when them first 5 people pop in. I feel like I can do a show now. I'm not going to do one until at least 10 people here. But I see those first 5 people, and then I know at least 5 people still are interested in either hearing what I got to say or laughing with me or, thinking about whatever it is I'm doing. Whatever, So, yeah, I always appreciate that. It means more than you think it means. All right, let's get to the rest of y'all, which I appreciate y'all. Y'all are no worse than the top 5. They're no better than you. I love everybody. I love everybody. Carolyn Smith, good afternoon. Thank you for checking out the show. DeWanda Wise Hunter, good afternoon. I appreciate you. David Herring, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Carolyn, did I already say Carolyn Smith? Yeah, Carolyn Smith. Lewis Talbert in the house. Good afternoon, Lewis Talbert. Dina Johnson representing Walnut Hills. Good afternoon, Dina. Thank you for checking out the show. Jacqueline Carter representing Evanston. Good afternoon. David Martin. Hebron in the house. Good afternoon. Dwayne Larkin out there in Mount Airy. Good afternoon. Myosha says, where's Prosser? Letting us know he's first. He was first. Good afternoon, Myosha. I appreciate you. Vincent Jones out there and representing Blue Ash. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Karen Dye Williams representing Westwood. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Got Lewis Johnson, CK. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Lewis. Fame says, yeah, Etsu is here. I'm going to need to see a birth certificate. I I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just saying I don't believe you. I need to see a birth certificate on that one. I'm one of them parents. You know, them parents be at the like little pee-wee football games or little league basketball games, and some big gigantic kid come out, and then the parents be like, we need to see a birth certificate. He ain't gonna be smashing my baby. We need to see a birth certificate. I need to see a birth certificate. I don't believe your name is Ansel. Let me see. Oh, Pamela Kinney representing North Avondale. Good afternoon. Lamont Jones representing Westwood. Good afternoon. Jerica Vaughn says hola to you. Good afternoon. Twin. Good afternoon. Say these ain't history class. Get to the point. Just listen. You might learn something. Or not. Twin, thank you for checking out the show. Now, his name is Eugene. I don't even need to see a birth certificate. I believe that. Samuel Campbell Jr. representing East Walnut Hills. Good afternoon. Brenda Early in the house representing Fairfield. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Who did you lay in the bed with to get back into the 1230 chat? My wife. I don't know. Brenda Burt. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Daryl says, H now, I'm first. Oh, that's right. She said Anthony. No, Anthony wasn't first. Daryl was first. My bad. Ibadathia representing Lincoln Heights. Good afternoon. Got Jack in the house representing Silverton. Good afternoon, Jack. Thank you. And Ibadathia. Thank you. Let me see. C in the house. Say what up, though? What up, though? Thank you for checking out the show. I appreciate you. Valisa, love it. Representing Blue Ash. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, no, ain't no Stephen A here. Mine been like this since I was born. Stephen A's been running for his face. It's a difference. Ken, representing Virginia. Good afternoon, Ken. Thank you. Alethea, one of the killer bees in the house. Good afternoon, Alethea. Thank you for checking out the show. Good afternoon. Alethea Williams, by the way. I didn't even say her last name. Mary Birch Lavender. She says, howdy to all of y'all. She's representing White Oak. Good afternoon. Got Pat Rogers in the house representing East Westwood. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Steban Speed out there in Westwood. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hold on. Diane Huddleston Angel representing Gulf Manor. Good afternoon. Crystal Hoskins representing The Christ Hospital. Good afternoon. Did you find your filming spot yet? It's not for filming. I'm going to pause on the hellos. I'm going to get to everybody. Y'all might be able to help me out. I need a space. Just if you know, you probably don't. And I'm not saying that to be dismissive, but what I'm asking for is a very specific ask. And, it's going to be difficult. A lot of people had good ideas, but some of them won't work for what I'm saying. All right. I got some show flooring. You put flooring. Some people don't actually know this. When you see people on a stage, on a TV show, like say America's Got Talent, and you see that black shiny floor, they call that Marley. It's a relatively expensive flooring. It comes in rolls. And think vinyl flooring. Not like hardwood vinyl flooring, but old school flooring with the rolls. And you roll it out, and you have that black, shiny floor. They don't always have to be black and shiny, but for the purposes of the explanation. And you roll out however many rolls of that to cover the stage, and then people get on the stage. It looks beautiful on camera, and all of that kind of stuff. Okay, I got a number of rolls of Marley. Now, the rolls are 60 feet long. 60 feet long, like 6 feet wide. And I think I got 10 of them. As y'all know, I'm getting ready to go do a show. But those floors have been sitting, I think, for 2 years now, rolled up. So one of the things that I need to do before I, take that flooring is I need to roll all 10 of those floorings out and kind of, make sure they all good, touch them up, clean them up, whatever. And just kind of let them relax for a minute because they'll still be, you know how it is when you unroll something, it's still a little curled, but you give it a couple days and it flattens out. I need to do that. So I need a huge space to do that in. It's got to be at least 60 feet long to be able to unroll an entire roll. And like I said, I got 10 of them and they're 6 feet wide. So it needs to be at least 60 feet wide. And I need to leave them there, sprawled out for at least a few days. I'm thinking a week, but at least a couple days to be able to get in, clean floors, any smudges and stuff. When people be dancing on floors and stuff, you get a little smudges. I just want to go through and make sure every piece of that flooring is, perfectly good. So I need a space. I need to rent a space to do that. Now, what would be ideal? Just a concrete warehouse, floor, a warehouse, and just boom, roll it out, clean it up, let it lay there, and then come back, roll it back up. It'll be good once we roll it back up. It'll be fine. Roll it back up, put it on the truck, send it. So people like, hey, check out the library. They got a nice meeting space. Their meeting space is not 60 feet by 60 feet, and they're going to let me keep it there for an entire week. So I understand that, but it's a little different. So I need like a gym or like I said, like a warehouse. If somebody rents a warehouse and you got a nice chunk of space that you can just sublease for a week, I'll pay. I'm not asking for free. So if you know somebody, which is weird to say, somebody with a gym, like a big gym, that ain't gonna be using it for a week or 2-3 days. Somebody with warehouse space that they're willing to rent it out for 2-3 days. I just need a flat floor and a little bit of electricity so I can have light, so I can see what I'm doing. That's it. So that's the ask. It's not somewhere I'm not gonna be filming there. I'm not gonna be building nothing or any of that kind of stuff. I just need to lay out some flooring. So if you are able to help, I would appreciate it. If not, it's totally understandable. It's totally understandable. So that was what I was asking about. All right. So no, I did not find a spot yet, but I appreciate the people who are trying to give me ideas. I appreciate people trying to help me. All right, back to my hellos. Bonita out there in Roselawn. Good afternoon, Bonita gang. Let me see. My favorite, Janice. Janice says hello. Hello, Janice. Janice Robertson. Let me see. Andrea Bustle in the house, representing Golf Manor. Good afternoon. C says, did I hear something about you and the buzz? No, you did. Nothing that deserves any expansion. Scott Bain in West Walnut Hills. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. T Mikey G. I saw you and Zoe having a little back and forth. So Zoe be watching the show too? How do he know that you were accused of being him? For him to, I just think I'd be interested. I know that there are some people who watch, who don't have time to say hello or may not even want people to know that they watch or whatever. I didn't think he was one of them, but if he does, then I'm glad again, But I saw y'all talking and I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Good afternoon, T. Mikey G. Daryl said, when you find a space, I'll come out and help you roll them out and clean them free of charge if it's done on the weekend. Oh, yeah, we're going to hire people to do that. Those things are like super heavy. It takes like 4 people to lift a roll. And like last year, we went to one of the, I'm going to say the temporary, how you hire temporary labor. And they sent these 4 big dudes and they saw the rolls because they don't look that big. And I was trying to explain to them, like, these are heavy. And they like, They might be heavy for you, but we ain't it. And then they all got on 1, 2, 3, lift. Oh my God. Oh, they was cussing. Like, oh, yes, you know. Oh man. No, we're all gonna need to get on this. 1, 2, 3. Grunted to get it where it was going. I was just looking. Tried to tell y'all it was heavy. I tried to tell y'all. But we hire people. I appreciate the offer of assistance. But yeah, we hire people. Scott says, call me. Okay, I'll call you. Where are you gonna find that? People have gyms. People have gyms. People have facilities. Maybe a theater that's not currently being used. You never know. Jack says use double side tape. We know how to. I don't want them to stick down. I know how to install them on the floor once we get them where they gotta go. I just need some people. I thank you for the help, Jack. I appreciate the idea. Thank you. Lethea says Spring Grove Studio have space. Okay. Jack says, how heavy are they? Very, but I don't need help carrying them. I just need the space. And Spring Grove Studios rent out space. I'll call them. I will. I'll call them. It could fit in Lincoln's spare bedroom. I don't know. I never been in Lincoln's house. I was never invited. Sierra Brooks in the house representing Boston. Good afternoon. What happened between you and the Buzz? And I missed it. Nothing happened. I don't know. Maybe something happened that I don't know anything about. But to my knowledge, nothing happened. I don't know. Have you considered a recreation center that may have space to use? I would love if you, so a recreation center would be great. That would be great. Everybody that I've called, they don't have space or they don't want to rent the space for that extended amount of time. Yes, Mary, it is. It's going to be hard to find a place to rent for a week. I was saying a month because I would pay for a month. Even though I only need it for a week, you know, you got to do what you got to do. So I'd be willing to do that, but just finding a space. The places that really I've been looking at that would be ideal, they want you to lease for like 3 years. I don't need 3 years. I just need a few days. You're welcome. Try Don. How could I get in touch with them? Because I would. I thought about that, but I don't know how to get in touch with them. So, if you got information to get me in touch with them, that would be great. Alethea says, I'll get the number for you. Thank you so much. Oh, okay, that's it. And Alethea says, as long as you've known Lincoln where you've never been to or invited to his home, no, we've never had that type of a relationship. He had a party where he invited like everybody from the radio station except for me. My feelings wasn't hurt. I thought it was hilarious. So it is what it is. All right. Doesn't the Gospel Superfest Productions crew have space for that? No. Why would they have space for that? We have a place where the stuff is stored and all of that kind of stuff, but why would we own a gym? Or a big industrial warehouse? We go places, and once we get to where we're going, we're not gonna have no problem. Be able to do everything. But some stuff you want done before you get there. And that's one of the things. So, no. Independent producers don't normally have gigantic warehouses that are empty. It wouldn't make sense. It just wouldn't make sense. Um, let's see. Didn't you drop Lincoln off at home one time? No, Lincoln dropped me off at home one time. No. Um, Brenda Harris, good afternoon. Kim Moore Eberhardt, good afternoon. Good afternoon. You skipped my question to twin. Oh. Dwayne Larkin says, I have warehouse space for you. Hit me up and I will help you connect. All right. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that, whenever the show ends. I'll do that. Thank you. And I appreciate everybody who's attempting to help. I do. I appreciate y'all. All right. So today we are reading the Constitution of the United States of America. And we've already done the preamble. Anybody remember we did the preamble? It was quick. I read it and that was that. Dwayne says it's in Sharonville. That's perfect. Sharonville's perfect. So yeah, I'll reach out to you. Anybody else remember when we did the preamble? Or do we need to do the preamble again? If we need to do the preamble again, somebody just type in preamble. And we'll do the preamble again. It's really quick. Why? Hold on. Before I get to that, why are y'all trying to get me wrapped up in some stuff with Lincoln Ware and or the buzz? I'm not trying to start no fights with nobody. I'm too old and hopefully too mature to, just be going back and forth. If you ask me a question, I'll answer the question depending on what it is, as long as you ain't trying to be exceptionally messy. I'll answer, a question about that because having been there for 20 whatever years I was there, there's certain things where why did they do that? And, maybe I can explain why they might have done that. But other than that, I'm not trying to, have a problem with Mr. Ware or Mr. Howard or Mr. Ivy Griffin or, nobody. Raven Mundy. None of that. None of that. I'm not trying to have no problems. They're not my enemies. They might perceive me as theirs, but they're not mine. And I don't just, get off on, let me just talk about them. I'm trying to read the Constitution. So whatever happened today, and I was there, I didn't hear anything. I was listening most of the time. So I didn't hear anything that was said. I will respond if people say things about me, of course. But I didn't hear anything. If you heard something, just keep it to yourself, because it wasn't important enough to get my attention. And, life goes on. Life goes on. All right. Let's see. I can't believe you're on here. You were on after 7 last night. I guess because Mrs. Livingston isn't there. Just now catching you on here. Mrs. Livingston is home. She is home. Can't eat your popcorn if I'm not being messy. Put the popcorn away then. I'm not messy. I don't think I am. All right. So I saw a few people said they want us to reread the preamble. I really do want to put this up. Hold on. I'm going to try one other thing before I do the Constitution piece. Let's do this. Boom. Copy that. Properties. Bam. Put that. I don't know why I give it sound effects. Okay. Now I'm going to try this and see if it will allow me to interact with it. It is not allowing me to interact. So y'all can't see it yet, but it's not allowing me to interact. Hold on. If I can go section 1, section 2, clause 1, clause 2, clause 3. Okay, this might get me there. Okay. So that's what I'll do. That is what I'll do. All right, hold on. Article 1, Section 1. But before we do that, let's... Tanika, I thought I said hello to you. But hello, Tanika. I have to wear glasses. They're like magnifiers, readers, or whatever the strongest readers are. Like I think these is like a 2.75 or something like that. I haven't gotten to the eye doctor. And there's no reason. I'm paying for insurance. I might as well go to the eye doctor. But I'll be busy. Maybe after Superfest, I'll have a little bit of time. I'll get to the eye doctor. But I'll read the preamble to the Constitution out of my little pocket Constitution. All right. So are we ready for the Constitution? Preamble is a really simple one. I just said I need to go, Sierra. I said that. All right. Let's see. Let's get to the preamble. Preamble. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Now, clearly we know what that means, but I'll go through it just one more time, not necessarily read it, but saying that we, all of us, the people of the United States, ordain and establish this Constitution. Everything we about to read, we agree to ordain and establish this Constitution. Why? Why are we doing this? In order to form a more perfect union. That's why. In order to establish justice. That's why. In order to ensure domestic tranquility. That's why. In order to provide for, common defense. That's why. In order to promote general welfare. That's why. In order to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves, yes, and our posterity. For us and our kids in the future. Yes, that's why. That's why we ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. So that's the preamble. That's the preamble. All right. Article 1. Article 1. Hold on. Now let me see if I can figure this out. I want to get this on the screen so we can all read this together. Article 1. Back here, interact. Article 1, Section 1. All legislative powers granted or herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Republicans. All right? So that's what this is. This is about the Senate and the House of Republicans. All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in the Congress of the United States. What's the Congress? The Senate and the House of Representatives. Section 2. The House of Representatives shall be composed of members chosen every second year by the people of the several states, and the electors in each state shall have the qualification requisite for electors for the most numerous branch of the state legislature. No person shall be a representative who shall not have attained the age of 25 years and been 7 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of that state in which he or she shall be chosen. What are we at now? Was that 3? Representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states which may be included within this union according to their respective numbers, which shall be determined by adding the whole number of free persons, including those bound to service for a term of years, and excluding Indians not taxed, 3/5 of all other persons. Where that old 3/5 things come in, y'all going bonkers. 3/5 of all other persons. The actual enumeration shall be made within 3 years after the first meeting of the Congress of the United States and within every subsequent term of 10 years. We be doing that census in such a manner as they shall by law direct it or direct. The number of representatives shall not exceed 1 for every 30,000, but each state shall have at least 1 representative. And until such enumeration shall be made, because remember everything wasn't firm. Until such enumeration shall be made, the state of New Hampshire shall be entitled to choose 3, Massachusetts 8, Rhode Island and Providence Plantations 1, Connecticut 5, New York 6, New Jersey 4, Pennsylvania 8, Delaware 1, Maryland 6, Virginia 10, North Carolina 5, South Carolina 5, and Georgia 3. When vacancies happen in the representation from any state, the executive authority thereof shall issue writs of election to fill vacancies. It's the governor. The House of Representatives shall choose their speaker and other officers and shall have the sole power of impeachment. That's Article 2. That's Article 2. Section 2 of Article 1. My bad. Section 2 of Article 1. Nat says, see, that's why we needed Cliff Notes. Nat, we gonna go through it. But we gonna read it. It's not that much more. Section 3. The Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state chosen by the legislature thereof for 6 years, and each senator shall have 1 vote. Ken, I'm about to clean it up for the white man. Ken, we gonna get there. What are we on? Section 3, Clause 2. Immediately after they shall be assembled in consequence of the first election, they shall be divided as equally as may be into 3 classes. The seats of the senators of the first class shall be vacated at the expiration of the 2nd year, of the 2nd class, the expiration of the 4th year, and of the 3rd class, the expiration of the 6th year, so that 1/3 may be chosen every 2nd year. See, that's how they do it. 1/3 every 2nd year. And if vacancies happen by resignations or otherwise during the recess of the legislature of any state, the executive thereof may make temporary appointments until the next meeting of the legislature, which will then fill such vacancies. No person shall be a senator who shall not have attained the age of 30 years and been 9 years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of the state for which he was chosen. You got to have lived there for like 9 years. The vice president, the vice president of the United States shall be president of the Senate, but shall have no vote unless they be equally divided. The Senate shall choose their other officers and also President pro tem in the absence of the vice president, or when he shall exercise the office of the president of the United States. The Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments. Remember, the House gets to impeach. The Senate tries those impeachments. When sitting for that purpose, they shall be on oath or affirmation. When the President of the United States is tried, the Chief Justice shall preside, and no person shall be convicted without the concurrence of 2/3 of the members present. I'm at 6, 7. Judgment in cases of impeachment shall not extend further than to removal from office and disqualification to hold and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under United States. But the party convicted shall nevertheless be liable and subject to indictment, trial, judgment, and punishment according to the law. So, I mean, clearly that just means if you convicted in terms of an impeachment, that don't mean you go to jail. That don't mean you get fined. None of that kind of stuff. That just means you get kicked out of office and you can't hold no other office, basically, no other political office. You out. That's all that means. Let me see. Section 4. Oh, this is going to mess me up. But I can do section 4. The times, places, and manners of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislator thereof. But the Congress may at any time by law make or alter such regulations, except as to the places of choosing senators. The Congress shall assemble at least once in every year, and such meeting shall be on the first Monday in December, unless they shall, by law, appoint a different day. All right. Section 5. Section 5 gonna be a problem. Just because I can't scroll down. It's not allowing me to scroll. And I don't know if y'all can see my cursor, but it won't allow me to go further down where y'all can see it. I'm sorry. It's not my doing. It's not my doing. Hold on, let me see if I can figure out a way to make this happen. Oh, come on. Come on. Let me do it. It's not letting me do it, y'all. It's not letting me do it. So I'm going to just have to read section 5. Y'all not going to be able to see it. And I'm sorry, again, it's not my desire. The next time we do this, the format will be much better and all of that good stuff. All right. Hold on while I'm doing this. Let's go here. Section 5. Each house shall be the judge of the elections, returns, and qualifications of its own members, and a majority of each shall constitute a quorum to do business. But a smaller number may adjourn from day to day and may be authorized to compel the attendance of absent members in such manner and under such penalties as each house may provide. Each house may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly behavior, and with the concurrence of 2/3 expel a member. Sorry, I'm squinting because it's kind of far away and these glasses don't help that. Where was I? And expel a member. Each house shall keep a journal of its proceedings and from time to time publish the same, except such parts as may in their judgment require secrecy. And the yeas and nays of the members of each house on any question shall, at the desire of 1/5 of those present, be entered on the journal. Neither house, during the session of Congress, shall, without the consent of the other, adjourn for more than 3 days, nor to any other place than that in which the two houses shall be sitting. Section 6. The senators and representatives shall receive a compensation for their services, to be ascertained by law and paid out of the Treasury of the United States. They shall, in all cases except treason, felony, and breach of the peace, be privileged from arrest during their attendance at the session of their respective houses. Oh, I did not know that. See, that reading this stuff, you learn stuff. I'm sorry, I'm gonna read that again. The senators and representatives shall receive compensation for their services to be ascertained by law and paid out of the Treasury of the United States. They shall, in all cases except treason, felony, and breach of the peace, be privileged from arrest during their attendance at the session of their respected houses, and in going to and returning from the same, and for any speech or debate in either house, they shall not be questioned in any other place. No senator or representative shall, during the time for which he was elected, be appointed to any civil office under the authority of the United States, which shall have been created, or the emoluments whereof shall have been increased during such time. And no person holding any office under the United States shall be a member of either house during his continuance in office. Again, we're going to go through all this. Just a good little explanation. Section 7. And there's only 10 sections. Section 7. Hold on, let me see if I can get it back up there so y'all can see. Refresh. Interact. Why will it not let me do this? This doesn't make sense. All right. Section 7. All bills for raising revenue shall originate in the House of Representatives. I'm going to read that again. Section 7. All bills for raising revenue shall originate in the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with amendments as on other bills. Every bill which shall have passed the House of Representatives and the Senate shall, before it becomes a law, be presented to the President of the United States. If he approve, he shall sign it, but if not, he shall return it with his objection to that House in which it shall have originated, who shall enter the objections at large on the journal and proceed to reconsider it. If after all such reconsiderations, 2/3 of that House shall agree to pass the bill, it shall be sent together with the objections to the other House, by which it shall likewise be reconsidered. And if approved by 2/3 of that House, it shall become a law. But in all such cases, the votes of both houses shall be determined by yeas and nays, and the names of the persons voting for and against the bill shall be entered on the journal of each house respectively. If any bill shall not be returned by the president within 10 days, Sundays excepted, after it shall have been presented to him, the same shall be a law. In like manner, as if he had signed it, unless the Congress by their adjournment prevents its return, in which case it shall not be a law. Every order, resolution, or vote to which the concurrence of the Senate and the House of Representatives may be necessary, except on a question of adjournment, shall be presented to the President of the United States, and before the same shall take effect, shall be approved by him, or being disapproved by him, shall be repassed by 2/3 of the Senate and House of Representatives, according to the rules and limitations prescribed in the case of a bill. All right. Section 8. We almost there. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. But all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. Okay, I have to look at that a little more. To borrow money on the credit of the United States. Wait a minute. All duties, imposts. I'm reading that right. Y'all can't see it. Imposts and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States to borrow money on the credit of the United States, to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and with the Indian tribes. This is old. They still talking about Indian tribes. It's old. I know. To establish a uniform rule of naturalization and uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcies throughout the United States. To coin money, regulate the value thereof and of foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures. To provide for the punishment and counterfeiting the securities and current coin of the United States. Again, this is all the duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform through the United States, and all of these things are the continuation. To establish post offices and post roads. To promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for limited times to authors and inventors the exclusive rights to their respective writings and discoveries. To constitute tribunals inferior to the Supreme Court. To define and punish piracies and felonies committed on the high seas and offenses against the laws of nations. To declare war, grant letters of marque and reprisal, and make rules concerning captures on land and water. To raise and support armies, but no appropriation of money to that use shall be for a longer term than 2 years. To provide and maintain a navy. To make rules for the government and regulations of the land and naval forces. To provide for calling forth the militia to execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrections, and repel invasions. To provide for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia, and for governing such part of them as may be employed in the service of the United States, reserving to the states respectively the appointment of the officers and the authority of training the militia according to the discipline prescribed by Congress. To exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 miles square as may, by cession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress, become the seat of government of the United States, and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the state in which the same shall be, for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings, and, lastly, to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers, and all other powers vested by this Constitution in the government of the United States, or in any department or office thereof. That was Section 8. Section 9. The migration or importation of such persons as any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit shall not be prohibited by the Congress prior to the year 1808, but a tax or duty may be imposed on such importation not exceeding $10 for each person. I don't like that part. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless when in cases of rebellion or invasion the public safety may require it. No bill of attainder or ex post facto law shall be passed. Now, some of this stuff, I'm not claiming to be no constitutional expert, just so y'all know, because some of this stuff, I don't know exactly what they saying, but we gonna figure it out. But I'm gonna read it, and hopefully it stays somewhere in your mind, and you like, when it come up, and you're like, oh, okay, I remember hearing that. And we'll figure it all out. No bill of attainder or ex post facto law shall be passed. No capitation, that's what it say, or other direct tax shall be laid unless a proportion of the census or enumeration herein before directed to be taken. No tax or duty shall be laid on articles exported from any state. No preference shall be given by any regulation of commerce or revenue to the ports of one state over those of another, nor shall vessels bound to or from one state be obliged to enter, clear, or pay duties in another. No money shall be drawn from the treasury, but in consequence of appropriations made by law, and a regular statement and account of the receipts and expenditures of all money shall be published from time to time. No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office of profit or trust under them shall, without the consent of the Congress, accept of any present, emolument, office, or title, or any kind whatever from any king, prince, or foreign state. Okay, so they're not supposed to just be taking gifts. All right. And lastly, Section 10. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of the contracts, or grant any title of nobility. No state shall, without the consent of the Congress, lay any imposts or duties or imports or exports except that may be absolutely necessary for executing its inspection laws. And the net produce of all duties and imposts laid by any state on exports, imports, shall be for the use of the Treasury of the United States. And all such laws shall be subject to the revision and control of the Congress. And last clause, no state shall, without the consent of Congress, lay any duty of tunage. I'm not even sure what tunage is. Keep troops or ships of war in time of peace, enter into any agreement or compact with any other state or with a foreign power, or engage in war unless actually invaded, or in such imminent danger as would not admit of delay. All right. So, fade, no, take that off. All right. So, put that back there. So that's Article 1. That's Article 1. Hold on, let me put this up here. And close that. And open that. Oh, the phone app is updating. Maybe that's a good thing, because that means maybe the phones won't give me that static. It's still updating. It don't normally take this long. So I'm believing that might be a good thing. The phone app is updating, so I'm in the process of opening the phones. 513-717-KING. That's 513-717-5464. What? Okay, now it's acting up. Maybe I won't have any phones. I don't know. Ah, there it is. Okay. All right. So the phones are up and the phones are open. 513-717-KING. 513-717-5464. Some people are saying, oh, it needs to be rewritten. We were only 3/5 of a person, probably still today. Classy one says, why 3/5? Um, Chant, update the Constitution. There are updates, and those updates are typically called amendments. The Constitution has been amended, what, 27 times? Is it 27 amendments? 27, I think 27 amendments to the Constitution. So the Constitution has been amended 27 times. So some of those changes that, the stuff that you heard that you was like, what? And the stuff that I heard that I was like, what? Some of those changes have been made. And again, we'll get to it. This is going to be a long process. We're not reading all of the Constitution in one day or in 1 week or whatever, but we will read the entire Constitution and all of the amendments. So you can say, I've read the Constitution. I've heard that. That sounds familiar. Yeah. So that was Article 1. Anybody got any other thoughts on that? I agree, Sierra. And now the way that the Constitution is amended, like the Trump administration can't just say, we changing that in the Constitution. There's an entire process for amending the Constitution. And for the life of me, I can't remember everything, but there's a certain amount of people. It has to be, what do they call it? Ratified. Any amendments to the Constitution has to be ratified. I can just look it up. Because I don't remember off the top of my head exactly okay, a U.S. constitutional amendment requires a 2/3 vote in both the House of Representatives and the Senate to be proposed. And then it has to be ratified by 3/4 of the states. So if Trump's saying, I want to change the Constitution to this, it goes to a vote in the House. And if he don't get 2/3, that's it. If he do it, go to a vote in the Senate. If he don't get 2/3, that's it. But if he gets it in both of those, then it goes to the states. And 3/4 of the states have to agree to it. What is 3/4 of 50? Y'all know my math ain't that good. So what, 37? 38 states have to say yes. Thank you, Vernie. 38 states then have to say yes. A classy one says, you just don't want to read the document all because of 3/5. That's so ignorant. You can't look past that. I understand the idea that, look, they started out against us. So I don't respect that document. But I also understand, look, we live in this country, and, under the protections and limitations of the Constitution, supposedly. And I'm just saying we should know it or have some idea. Of course, all of this stuff gets argued all the time. That's why constitutional issues come up all the time in the Supreme Court. It's not like, oh, sorry, twin, I was coming to you. It's not like everybody looks at it and everybody comes to the same conclusion. Like, that's what it says. Okay, that's what it says. That's why we're still arguing about the right to bear arms. What exactly does that mean? That means I should just be able to have a gun. So everybody has the right to have a gun? Well, not everybody. Well, no, only under certain circumstances. Well, what if this and that? And, what limitations can we put on it? Well, you can't limit nobody's constitutional rights. You can put some limitations on constitutional rights. Now, everybody got to be able to have a gun. They got to have their own gun. And you can't tell me what kind of gun I have to have. And this is the stuff that goes to court. And they're looking at the Constitution saying, okay, I think what those dudes meant was, okay, I think really what that mean is. And then they vote on it. And then you get something 5-4. And what does that mean? That means basically they split. 4 of them I think that's what the Constitution meant. 5 of them I'm pretty sure that's not what the Constitution meant. And these are people who's supposed to know the Constitution. People make arguments about this stuff all the time. So, yeah, just reading it ain't gonna make you no constitutional expert. But y'all know my view. Hopefully, y'all know my view on what an expert is. I don't believe in experts. Jericho says, who has the majority of the House? Well, right now, the Republicans have the majority. But I don't remember what the split is. It's not a large split. Party breakdown. Right now, there are 220 Republicans, 213 Democrats. So it's close. Twin?
Fame?
It keeps coming up as twin. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's doing that, but caller.
Hey, it's Fame. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
The same old everything. Just living the life of Riley. I don't care if it's Teddy or Pat.
Okay, because I don't know what that means, but all right.
Oh, you've never heard the phrase "the life of Riley"?
I've heard it, but I don't know where it came from. I never really cared enough to look it up.
Well, I'm living the high life.
Yeah, let's say Teddy. So you should just be saying, yep.
Yeah, I'm living the high life with Teddy or Pat. Pat Riley, you don't know who that is?
I know who Pat Riley is. But that saying has nothing to do with either of those guys. But go ahead.
Okay, you don't like people to play with words. Okay. No shout out to Dante and the callers who called in yesterday trying to talk about what I was talking about as far as the non-racial angle of Shadir Sanders. Called in with a lot of facts that needed context and a lot of disingenuous statements to try to prove your point. And I was very disappointed in your effort. It was too much to rehash from all the nonsense you were spitting yesterday. So we're going to move on, but just let you know, I peeped it and was like, wow. I wanted to call back in, but I understand talk show protocol. Once you call in, you don't call back in. Hey, but I just want to be honest with you, Emanuel.
Yes, sir.
I've been peeping I've been really into that 100 men versus one gorilla debate.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I have because I truly believe 100 men would beat a gorilla. 100 good sized men. We can't be regular dudes like me and you. I'm talking about some big ass, P5 O lineman, Mangus Vert Manguson type, Big John Stud types, 6'9", 400 pounds, and can move. They'll beat a gorilla.
Okay. Why? I'm just curious. Why is that even a conversation? To me, it's the stupidest conversation. But why is it a conversation? Did like a gorilla attack a group of people or something?
Well, it's on social media, the epicenter of stupid.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So let's not act like this came out of a Harvard library or something.
I had no idea where it came from. I heard somebody talking about it, and I just thought that's the stupidest thing. Why even have such a conversation?
I will put it to you like this: this is how you know 100 men could beat a gorilla, because according to science, one skinny ass African handled a gorilla well enough to have sex with him and create a worldwide disease.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So if 100 men can't beat him, one, that tells you the racial trope in that scientific theory. You know what I'm saying? But nobody wants to talk about that. But that's what I'm saying. It's like if one guy can do that, 100 big size, beefcakes. You can't be like 5'9", 170, think you're finna take on this gorilla. And yes, 40, 50, 60 of them are gonna die. But those with a strategic effort, they can pull that off. Some biggins.
All right, hold on. So in this fictitious battle, what's the goal? Is the goal to kill the gorilla? Is the goal just to subdue the gorilla? How does one determine?
I was always under the impression it was just beating.
Beat him how? That's what I'm saying. What is beating? What does it mean?
I guess win the battle. Because you got to figure, you're going to lose 20 guys off one punch. One punch, one swing by the gorilla. He's going to either kill or, permanently injure 20, 30 guys instantly. That's what I say. It's got to be a team effort, a strategic effort, and, some people got to realize, like, you ain't going home after this. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I think it's truly to beat the gorilla. But I was just curious, why are you talking about the Constitution? I didn't get the reason why you started doing that.
Well, the reason why I decided to do it is because I was listening to the radio one day, and I heard a number of people making ridiculous statements, just letting me know that they clearly did not understand the way the country is set up and the rules that are in place and the law. And as I'm listening to people talk, I'm like, we don't understand this stuff. We don't know the Constitution. And so I was like, we should know how the government is set up, what our rights are, and I think the guy was like, they should just impeach Trump. And the host was like, impeach him how? And then the dude was like, well, they should just, like, he got a doctor, and his doctor could just say that he crazy, and then they could just impeach him. And they were, who could impeach him? Or just the people could just impeach him. And I'm like, that's not how any of this works. So I said, for me and the few people who kind of rock with me a little bit, we're going to read the Constitution. So we're going to have some understanding of how some of this stuff works.
Genius stuff. Can I give you the preamble to my own personal Constitution?
Absolutely, sure.
As man becomes preeminent, he is expected to have enthusiasms. And what are mine? What draws my admiration? What brings me joy? Baseball. It's been real, Emanuel. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. That was Fame, not Twin. I don't know why they're coming up as one another, but something going on with this phone. I might have to get a new phone service. But yeah, that was Fame, and I guess that was a good question as to why I decided to do this. At some point, I kind of want to go through. I really would love to have an attorney on. Maybe not necessarily to speak on the Constitution, even though that would be nice to have some sort of a constitutional expert or whatever, constitutional law professor or whatever to come on. That would be cool. I might actually reach out to UC about that. But I just mean about our rights. Like, y'all know I be watching these, sorry, Janice. I be watching. I know that drives her crazy. But y'all know I be watching these First Amendment audits. And I realize that there are so many people who don't know their rights. There are so many people that believe that because a police officer come up to you and say, you look suspicious, show me some ID. They think that now by law, because he said you're under investigation for looking suspicious, that means I got to show him my ID. But it doesn't. It doesn't. And I don't want to necessarily steer you wrong, but they can't just say you look suspicious. Well, I have to have reasonable suspicion. Because, that's what we hear. If they got reasonable, articulable suspicion, then you got to give them your ID. If you're under investigation and they have reasonable, articulable suspicion, you got to give them your ID. I kind of have to be reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime. You standing there looking suspicious. I got reason to suspect. What? Just because something don't look right to you, don't mean that you have reasonable, articulable suspicion that I have committed a crime or that I'm about to commit a crime. And I think, having an attorney, Mary says it depends on the police. It doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, the rules, the laws are the laws. A classic one says, what's wrong with showing your ID? If that's what you choose to do, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't choose to show police my ID or give them my name or my date of birth or any of that kind of stuff because I don't want them to have it, and they don't have a right to it. Now, there are some people who I see all the time who I would just give them my ID. Okay, great. Here, in my opinion, the danger in that is, there's a few dangers in that, in my opinion. But one of the dangers, I have to go back a little bit. I don't believe police are necessarily trained right. Okay? I don't necessarily believe that they understand the rules and the laws. It's not their fault. So if I'm a police officer and I come up to 100 people and I say, show me some ID, and they show me some ID, and every once in a while somebody say, I have to show you ID, and they say, I'm a police officer and I'm demanding ID, or I'm gonna arrest you. Okay, I'm gonna show you ID. Guess what? When that cop comes to me, all of y'all have conditioned him to believe that he has the authority to get my ID. So now my life is in danger because y'all didn't think it was a big deal. And it'd be different if he knew. If he had some for real, reasonable, articulable suspicion that I might commit a crime or something like that. Then sure, here's my ID. But y'all have conditioned that man now to believe that just by virtue of having that badge and that gun, he can get my ID. Y'all done gassed him up. And I see him on my audits all the time like, why are you being so difficult? Everybody gives me their ID. What's the big deal? If you ain't got nothing to hide, just give me your ID. In this day and time, and they're willing to arrest people who they will tell you you're not breaking any law. For real, I've heard them say this, I don't know how many times. You're not breaking any laws. What you're doing is perfectly legal. I just need to see some ID. If you agree that I'm doing everything legal, and you don't believe I'm about to commit a crime, and no crime has been committed, why are you asking me for ID? And basically, because I can, and all those other people give it to me when I ask them. And I've seen on video them arrest people, put them in jail, because everybody else gives me their ID. Why ain't you doing it? So to me, that's what the big deal is. You don't have to. And I genuinely believe that when you just voluntarily give up your rights, you're doing a disservice, because then you lose them. So a classy one, I get it. You don't care. You don't care about your rights in that instance. Anytime a police officer come up to you and tell you to show their ID, that's what you're going to do. Linda says, so then what? They charge you for disorderly conduct? Sometimes they charge people for not showing ID. They say you're obstructing my investigation, but you're not really investigating anything. You've told me that there's no crime. You're not investigating a crime. This is obstruction. What am I obstructing? You have no official duties here. There's no crime going on. You as a law enforcement official, you are here to enforce the law. If I'm not breaking the law, why are you here? What are you enforcing? I'm obeying the law. So there's nothing to enforce because there's nothing being broken. There's no law in danger of being broken. What are you enforcing? Your will. And that's not right. A classy one says, I was asked for ID while on the passenger side because the guy I got a ride from had a warrant. What did I do? Show my ID. Again, I'm not telling you not to show your ID. I'm not telling you not to show your ID. You really seem like one of them, yes, sir, boss, sir. Here's my ID, sir. And that's okay. I wouldn't have done it. I would have asked, what crime do you suspect me of committing? Well, you in the car with a dude with a warrant. Okay, what crime do you suspect me of committing? If you don't suspect me of committing a crime, what you need my ID for? Vernon says, I just say know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And I look, here's what I understand. And I done told y'all about this. And I don't remember verbatim because I didn't read it today. But there's a saying, like there are some people who, speak of the dream or something like that. There's people who fight for the dream, and there are people who live the dream. And a lot of times, there's no crossover. So you're one of those people, not a classy one, whoever you are, who may or may not, who may not want to show you ID. You might just be one of those people who are not willing to fight for the dream. You're not willing to fight for your rights. But it's somebody, somewhere, fighting for those rights. And to dismiss them like, you should have just showed your ID. That's why you get all of these cases like Terry versus Ohio. You know why you have to be read your rights before they question you? Because, was it Arizona? Miranda versus Arizona? That's why they call it your Miranda rights. I believe that was a person who was not informed of his rights. And the court said, no, he kind of got to know that he don't have to talk to you. He has to know that. Now, y'all would just say, well, just answer the question. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. So if they ask you a question, just answer the question. I just don't see why you wouldn't just answer the question. Did you kill that man? Just answering. Just answer the question. But somebody, Mr. Miranda, fought for those rights. Somebody fought for those rights. You wouldn't be the one to do it. I respect that because everybody is kind of not built like that. A classy one is a person on YouTube. Ken said, go back and read his comment. Hold on, Ken. Let me go back. See if I can find your text. Ken says, Emanuel, everybody is not like you and have oppositional defiance of authority. So oppositional defiance disorder. And everybody, you're right. Everybody is not like me. And I'm not trying to make them be like me. I haven't told anybody don't answer questions. Look, if a police come up and accuse you of something that you did or did not do and asks you questions and you want to, without legal representation, just start spouting off. They looking for a reason to arrest you anyway. Just start spouting off. I don't see why not. Just let them ask you. Don't invoke your right to remain silent. Just start spouting off. Scott says you have a right to remain silent. No, just start spouting off. Why? Why would you remain silent? If you didn't do nothing wrong, why would you remain silent? People really do have that mentality. And then you find out people got hemmed up. People got hemmed up all the time, tricked into answering questions a certain way, and next thing you know, they found guilty of something, and we find out 20 years later they didn't do it, but they was just answering the cops' questions. Vernon says, I don't even think you're really like you. Okay. Look, all of us aren't, and I'm not saying that anybody here is, but all of us ain't just some cowering suckers every time a dude with a badge on comes up. show me some ID. Oh, yes, sir, boss, sir. I just shows you my ID, sir, because I just don't want no trouble, sir. I just want to go about my business, sir. And just, man, all of us ain't that. And if you are that, that's just a decision that you made. Just like the people who say, I don't need no attorney, I'll talk to you. They got that right. Ken says, there comes a time in a man's life where we just don't have the energy to put up with nonsense quarreling with people. Okay, Ken, look, if the police come to your door and they want to search your house, don't be quarreling. Just let them in. Let them search. Go ahead. I ain't got nothing illegal in here, so go ahead, search the house. Why would you not let them search your house? Why would you not? Well, I mean, you got a right to say, no, you have to get a warrant. But why would you do that if you didn't do nothing wrong? Just come on in and search. Look everywhere you want to look. You ain't going to find nothing. Because I don't do nothing illegal. Now, me, on the other hand, I would say, no, you can't come in and search my house. You need to get a warrant. You need to have some reasonable suspicion that something is in here that shouldn't be in here, to the point that the judge said, you can go search it, even if they say no. And again, I get some people just go, yes, sir, boss, sir, come on in here, son. You can search it. I didn't do nothing wrong, sir. I just don't care. It's just look all over, sir. It don't matter to me, sir. But I'm just not going to be that guy. And if you are, that's cool. That's who you are. You ain't got time to be fighting and debating. Now, when they find something, like I think it was Alethea who said, because I can't see the comments right now, who said they do plant stuff. When they find something, just remember it wasn't worth the fight. Twin. I don't know
What's
if this
up,
is
you man?
Twin. Is this Twin?
Yeah.
Okay, it came up as Twin. What's on your mind?
Oh, not much. Do they have a search warrant to come in?
No, they just want to come in and search.
No, you gotta have a search warrant, player.
Why?
No, you just ain't gonna come in my house without me.
But if you ain't got nothing to hide, why not just do what they say do? Is it really worth the hassle?
Hey, I don't know. I might probably mistaken and put something underneath the couch or somewhere. Who knows? Plus, they plant stuff, right? I don't trust the police, especially your name hot on the block or around the streets or something like that. 9 times out of 10, they'll plant something in there. Oh, look what we found. I don't trust them body cameras no way. So, no, you got to have a search warrant, player. You just ain't going to come in here. Hey, Emanuel.
Yes, sir.
Is that Ohio everywhere? I heard the deadline for to change your ID or something, driver license. Is that Ohio everywhere?
That's everywhere.
So you got to get that started. Is just the flower? What is it?
Is it what?
Is it just the fly? Get on a plane or everywhere, like the federal building?
I believe it's it's a federal thing. So I don't know exactly all of the things that you're no longer going to be allowed to do if you don't have that. But yeah, in order to fly, you need some other, like a passport. You could still fly. But if you want to use, just your state issued ID to fly, it basically the federal government has to say, this is a real ID. And so this person has been verified to some degree by the federal government. So now you have access to all of the options that a federal ID would give you access to.
Oh, okay.
So,
'Cause
like,
I think
maybe
my
if you want to
license-
go into certain federal buildings and you just show your
Yeah.
regular ID, then they'll be
Yeah.
like, yeah, no. In essence, what they're saying is that's not a federally verified ID. So we
Okay.
can't accept that to get into this building. That's not a federally verified ID. So we can't accept that to fly. You know, there'll be different things, but I don't know everything that you'll be limited in doing.
Yeah, I was making sure and stuff. I've been, it came on news feed and, Facebook and the news the other day. I was watching, making sure, because mine don't expire till like next year. What's it? Year. But they were saying you got to have that little star. At that star, you can't fly or get into certain buildings. And I was making sure.
Do you have a passport?
It's expired 2 years ago. So
Well, yeah, for the most part, you'll need either a passport or that real ID to.
Yeah, I just have to renew. I guess getting my license out here.
Well, no, you can go. You can go tomorrow. Take them the required documents, and even though your driver's license is not expired, you can take that and get the real ID. You don't have to wait till your license expires.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I ain't know how it is because I've been, I was ready to go to Florida about a month or two, and they probably like, no, you can't fly with that, and I don't want to be embarrassed,
Yeah, that's probably what'll happen. So really, what you may want to do is go get your birth certificate, get your Social Security card, get your W-2.
I just take my Social Security card and a piece of mail, and then get my. I'll just take my Social Security card and a piece of mail, like I do all the time, and take it up there and they'll switch it out.
Maybe
that's what I did last time.
Right, but they may or may, because this is there are more qualifications. So your Social Security and a piece of mail may not be enough. Go online and look at everything that you're actually gonna need, because you'll go down there with your Social Security card and a piece of mail and they'll say, well, we need a birth certificate. Well, that's fine. We need 2 pieces of mail, and something, so just make sure that whatever it is that you're taking is.
Yeah, I probably got to get a new birth certificate, get it express, because I can't find my regular.
But yeah, get a birth. But go, just for real, go online. It's listed.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it offline like I do it all the time because, I'm not from Ohio. I have to do
no.
it.
I'm saying go online and look at the list of the requirement of documents that you need, and then get all of those together, and then go and get your real ID.
Oh, okay. Hey, I want to know who you got in the bed with to be back in the chat.
Mrs. Livingston.
The reason why I say that because what you talked about yesterday, getting in the bed with a man. Well, not you, but when you pay, somebody pay you $7 million to get in the bed. So I was messing with you on that when I was in the chat earlier. You been acting a donkey lady for the man. Wait, I hate to, out of respect. When is Miss Livingston coming back?
She's back. She came back this morning.
Oh, man, because these last 2 days, you been clowning, man.
What I do?
Man, what you don't do, man. You been coming up with some weird-ass topics. Man, I don't know, man.
No, I think yesterday I was just shocked by the amount of, I don't like the word homophobia, but how insecure a lot of men are in their sexuality. They're so insecure that anything mentally can mess y'all up, and y'all don't understand. It comes out of some level of insecurity. So I just be shocked by that sometimes.
I'm not insecure, man. It's just a real nigga like me ain't known.
No, you're
so you
definitely
can't ask
insecure.
You can't ask me no stupid question like that, man. You can't go, man. You take your silk jacket and stuff that you and white was go wear and go in the hood and go creative content and say you the podcast host from an afternoon experience, like, hey, will you see what a man will do an acting scene for $7 million? I want you to go around there and go live and ask a real nigga that.
And he's
For
probably,
real.
and it's a possibility that he's so insecure.
He gonna be like, man, what you on, dude? What you on, fam? That's what he gonna say.
And there's a
He's
chance there's a chance that he's so insecure in his sexuality for whatever strange reason that that just the question itself would be offensive enough to make him feel funny and have to defend his sexuality.
No, people gonna think you's a weirdo. Like, man, what you on, man? Is this Facebook, whatever, social media? Get out of my face with that, man. Real nigga check you about that. That's what I was screaming about yesterday, man. I can't go off that. Hey, did you see the Lakers game yesterday?
I did.
Oh, what you think, man? He coming back?
He who?
LeBron James.
Probably.
Oh.
Why wouldn't he?
I ain't know if... No, I ain't know. You know how LeBron might take it back home to end his career in Cleveland.
Oh, no, I don't. Well, maybe. I mean, they got a good team, and so it's a team that he could go to and maybe win a championship without even having to be all that important, and that seems to be kind of what he has done his whole career. So it's possible that he would do that.
To be honest, I think he might go to Golden State because he know he got a better chance, and then let the Lakers organization probably, do a trade in and build around Luka. Because Luka, he all right, but he don't play defense, and he can't run up and down the court like that. He put a lot of weight on. He need to, back away from the table or the bar or something like that.
Okay.
That's what I see.
I mean, I don't know what he's gonna do. I could see him back next year, flopping all over the place, trying to get a championship. So.
Oh, you don't have no team?
Huh?
I thought maybe you had a team or something like that.
Do I have a team? I do not own an NBA team.
Come on, man. I'm talking about your favorite team.
Oh, well, right now I'm rooting for Golden State, but I'm not. I want to see Jimmy Butler get a ring because I've always liked Jimmy Butler, so I'd like to see him get a ring. But I'm not like hardcore a Golden State fan. I'm okay with it. The truth of the matter is, I don't like Houston, and I don't like LeBron, so I was against the Lakers. Now they're out, so I'm cool with anybody winning except Houston. I just want to see good games, so I'm cool with anybody winning but Houston.
What's wrong with Houston, though?
There's something about the makeup of that team that I don't care for.
I'd rather for Ant-Man them to win. Minnesota.
I would
like
okay with that.
See them. Yeah, I would like Ant-Man to win, man. Yeah, that's all I had to say, man. Hey, have a good day, man.
All right, you do the same.
All right, man.
All right. That actually was Twin. But yeah, that's just how I feel about it. I don't like LeBron, so him being out. Once Houston gets put out, I'll be happy with anybody. Any team still in it would be fine with me. I just want to see good games. I don't like these Golden State Houston games. They're way too like, oh, this is 80s basketball. No, it's really not. When you can just grab a dude and hug him, you know what I'm saying, as he try to run and that's not basketball. It's not the way basketball should be played. It's not fun to watch. It's annoying. The games aren't enjoyable to watch. That's not all on Houston. That's on the refs. I'm sure that's on the league. But yeah. Vernon says, I don't want any man who has a newborn daughter who he says he never wants to see. I don't want him to win anything. Okay. Okay. I I'm not mad at you. You got a right to like or not like whoever you do or don't like. See, I'm not calling you no names and all that kind of stuff because you don't want to see uh, Ant win. I'm all right with him winning. You know, I'm all right with him winning. I look at that as a like a male, the male's option in terms of abortion. Because to me, that's what women say when they get an abortion. Like, I don't want this kid. I don't want this kid. They got a right to just kill it. He didn't have a right to just kill it. So what he say is, here is your money. I'm out of it. Is it cold and all that kind of stuff? Absolutely. Just like I believe in abortion is just cold, cruel, ruthless, heartless, all of that kind of stuff. But that's the option that men have. He could not have said, I want her to get an abortion and enforce that. And so for me, again, I don't like it, but I respect him exercising his option. Oh, but the child is the one that pay. Well, the child is the one that pay in an abortion too. Aunt was 19, she was 38. He still shouldn't abandon the child. Look, I understand that people feel that way, just like I don't think that women should abort a child, but they got a right to do it. And you're not supposed to judge them. So he's got a right to do it, and you shouldn't judge him. He's got a right to do it, and you shouldn't judge him. Like, for real, y'all, think about it. A woman can say, I don't want this kid, and kill it. But if a man say, I don't want this kid, and she has it, what, he just got it? She own you? Like, no. That is his option. Ron.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
So it's funny to see a Libra work live in person. And see, I know you don't believe in that astrology stuff, but Libras are. I've watched you get, and wait. First of all, I watched you get in Lincoln Warehead yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I've been busy. But man, it was unfair. It was unfair. Oh, and you didn't say nothing, but you did what you did. Oh wait, well I don't know. It was you did what you did the night before, because you know he be watching. You know he be watching, and then if he don't be watching, T. Mikey G gonna tell him, because you know I wouldn't have told you if I wasn't 99% sure, and I ain't gonna even tell you how I'm 99% sure. I wouldn't have told you if I wasn't 99% sure that T. Mikey G was Alfonso West.
Well, let me just say this: T. Mikey G called in. I'm very familiar. I'm very familiar with Alfonso Weston's voice, and I can tell you that T. Mikey G sounded absolutely nothing like Alfonso Weston.
Yeah. And you know why? Well, whatever. Like you checked him today. I've been watching off and on. Like you checked him today. Like I said, it's a pleasure to see you work. That's why you get on my damn nerves so much.
Who did I check? I didn't check nobody. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. So anyway, now sun is rising in the east, and the moon rising in the east, right?
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
You, and I mean, Is that correct, right?
I don't
I
know
mean,
what
you
you
can look
want
it
me to
up.
say. I answered you.
Yeah, but the moon doesn't rise in the west, right?
Okay,
Am I
no,
correct?
no. It the
It's
moon
not a
doesn't
tree.
the moon doesn't
The,
rise in the west.
yeah. So if the sun is setting in the west and it's a planet in the west, is that the moon?
If it's a
Of course
planet,
not.
Ron, if it's a planet, it's a planet.
Uh, Listen, I asked you if you would take a look at that video, and you didn't take a look at that live on that I did on Facebook yesterday, did you? If you did, then you know that the sun can't set in the west and the moon rise at the same time in the west. It doesn't. Now you could say, you could say I'm crazy, but I did it on Facebook Live. You can't say it's AI, nothing. You can look and see. Ask yourself, what the fuck is that? This was at 8 o'clock in the evening. The sun was setting.
But
You,
like,
you
hold
okay?
on, Ron, like Jason just brought up, and I'll be hesitant because I really don't know a whole lot about all the celestial bodies. Like
That
I know
project
that. Hold on,
moving.
let me get this
That
out.
what?
Hold on, let me get this out.
Okay.
Let me get this out.
Go ahead.
I know that the Earth revolves around the sun, and that the moon revolves or orbits the Earth. Um, I know that from time to time,
Oh
it
my God.
just hold on. From time to time, just up in the middle of the day, you can see the moon, like right there in the
You
sky.
can see
It'd
the
be the
moon.
middle of the day.
You can see the moon.
Yes,
In the middle of the day,
yes,
you can see the moon,
yes.
but you can't see it in that place in the sky. It's like it's rising in the west.
No, you can see
You
it.
can't.
I don't know exactly where, because I don't be paying no attention. Like, oh, the moon is at, 32
See,
degrees,
if
but
you can see
sometimes
the
it be the
moon,
middle of the day and I look up
but
and I'll be like, oh, the moon.
sun is just up. The sun is just coming up. You can
No,
still see the moon.
no. It'd be the middle
God,
of the day. It can be any time of the day. And just randomly you can look up sometimes and see the moon. I don't know how all of that work because I don't,
it,
I don't understand all of the movement of all of the celestial bodies. It's not something I'm exceptionally interested in. But no, sometimes just in the middle of the day, randomly, there's the moon.
because it hasn't set yet, right?
I don't know that the moon sets. It's just out
Well,
there.
it look, the moon disappears in the west.
If you say so.
Is like the sun sets in the west, right?
If you say so. I don't know with 100% certainty
If
that's right.
At 8 o'clock, wait a minute, hold on. If I say so, you can see it in the video. You can see it. The sun is setting.
The sun is setting, but then the moon is all up in the video.
Wait a minute. The sun is setting. So what that means? That means the moon is rising, but it doesn't rise in the west. It rises in the east. It starts in the east. Man, I wouldn't say that shit if I didn't look up everything, Google it, AI it, everything. I mean, and it's a trip. Y'all, if you would sit there and act like, I'm tripping, but I mean, it's a trip that don't nobody, recognize that shit and be like, what the hell?
I don't know what we're talking about, to be completely honest.
Well,
Again, I don't know enough about the movement of all the celestial bodies and all that stuff to say that you will never see the sun. The sun rises here and sets here at this time, and it's all coordinated with the sun and all that kind of stuff.
Hey.
Hold on. Ron, can I say this? Do you remember last year that eclipse?
Do what?
The eclipse. Do you remember the eclipse last year?
Yeah.
That was up in the middle of the day, around 4 o'clock and 3 o'clock or so in the afternoon.
Okay.
The moon was right there, and the sun was right there. They were both right there, basically in the same spot.
That lines up with the sun, and it lines up in the middle, in the west.
In the middle of the day, they both lined up. They were both out.
It isn't setting when it isn't setting when it lined up. And
it
that's
wasn't
because
rising or setting. They were both visible.
At a further distance, that's why it is an eclipse. It lines up at a further distance.
Hold on, but here's the reason why I bring that up. Because here's why, Ron. Here's why I bring it up. Hold on. Here's why I bring it up. The argument that you're making, Ron, is that the sun goes down in the west and then the moon should be coming up in the east.
I ain't gonna argue with you, but let me remind you of something. And some people that are around my age remember this. Right. You know, when we were when I was in elementary school, we had an eclipse.
Yes.
We had an eclipse, and they was saying, like, you know, eclipse won't be around for another 100 years. Okay, I'll take it down to another 50 years. But eclipses are a rare thing.
They are.
They are thing. That's why the ancient people used to feel like the world was ending because they didn't understand the eclipses.
Okay.
Now, we've had, I'm telling you, I know we had like 4 or 5 in the last 10 years.
I'm not sure about that, but okay.
Yeah, we had like 4 or 5 in the last 10 years.
You
that
get solar eclipses.
Wait, hold on. I want to point something else out to you. Wait, hold on. I'll point something else out to you. And now, I've seen something. I was watching the news with some other station or program, but they said that the moon was going to light up, a full moon was going to light up pink, and they said that the moon lights up pink every year to show us how they said that they color the eggs. That's what it was. They said that they color the eggs because of the tinge of that pink hue that comes with that full moon setting. That's how they know it's Easter.
I'm
now
confused.
First of all, a pink shadow, whatever. It lights up. It lit up pink. The full moon lit up pink on Easter. So now we've had that pink moon, but we've had blood orange moons twice, blood moon once. I've never, ever, ever, ever heard of a blood moon in all of my life. It's almost 60 years. You ever seen them?
Hold on. What does any of this? Hold on.
Seen blood
wait.
moon?
What does any of this have to do with anything? I'm not understanding just what we're talking about.
I'm asking you. Have you ever seen? I've seen a blood moon like 5 times in the last 4 or 5 years. And when I was growing up, I've never seen a blood moon.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
But remember, so I'm asking you, have you ever seen a blood moon?
No.
You 50?
No, I've never seen one.
Okay. I was just asking you because the other people in the chat think, if they've seen a blood moon in the last 50 years.
Right, but Ron, I promise you. Ron, hold on, Ron. Just please explain to me, what are we talking about? Like, what is all of this coming to?
Okay. See, I walk you down. I like you a Libra. I walk you down in order to get my point across. I have to do that,
I promise you don't.
A lot of times.
You really don't. You can just say your point.
No, you don't know what I'm saying, so you don't know what I'm getting at. So, like I said, and I'm not just particularly talking to you. I have to walk everybody down in order to get my point across because of my aphasia. I can't talk the way I want to talk. I can't, pull the words out because when I need to pull them out.
Okay,
so
I respect
I have
that.
So I have to walk people down in steps. So when I was telling you about the dark man, quote unquote, I was walking you down. When I asked you long time ago, what is gifts without repentance? Do you know what that is? And what did you tell me?
I don't know. What did I tell you? I don't know.
Okay. So wait a minute. So you don't know what it is?
No, I don't know what I told you. But
gifts gifts are without repentance.
Okay, but
wait a minute.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute. So if you know that gifts are without repentance, and you know exactly what I was asking you, you were trying to do that college thing on me that you said that class on arguments you took.
What
See, that's what you be trying to do.
Ron,
That's what you be trying to do.
I promise you, Ron.
But
Ron, I promise you. I'm just trying to find out, what are we talking about?
But you
right now.
But you trying to win an argument. But see, it ain't no argument.
Win an argument. I don't even know what we're talking about.
Right. All right. But see, like you said the other day, you trying to do that. Now, what I'm saying is, I asked you if you knew what gifts are without repentance is, and you said you don't know. Did you know what I do?
That's not what you asked me.
I said, did you know what I told you? And you said I don't know, which you know, which means you try to go ahead and try to do me, because because you just know. What is gifts without repentance? What is gifts are without repentance?
Ron.
What? I'm getting to, and you, and like I said, that's that argumentative thing that you do. That I'm glad that I heard you say.
How am I arguing with you when I don't even know what we're talking about?
I asked you a question. Why won't you answer the question?
What is the question?
No. Okay, man. I know. But
what is the question? Hold on. What's the question?
And no, Daniel, I'm cool. I proved exactly what I wanted to prove, whether you see it or admit to it or not.
Oh my God!
And it wasn't for you. It wasn't for you. So I'm cool.
Bye, Emanuel.
I just, like he was okay. He was talking about the sun setting in the west and the moon being over there and a planet. And next thing I know, we talking about gifts of repentance, and I'm trying to do him with some college trick, and I'm trying to argue with him, and I don't know what any of that meant. I promise. Look, I be trying to understand. I do, and that ain't got nothing to do with no aphasia. That has nothing to do with aphasia. You didn't have any problems getting out any of your words. It's not your words that were the problem. It's jumping from idea to thought and just kind of saying stuff. And I'm like, I don't know all the celestial bodies and how they move and all of that kind of stuff. And I didn't know that the moon turned pink for Easter because people colored eggs. I doubt that the coloring of eggs had anything to do with the color of the moon, but maybe it does. But what the hell does that have to do with a planet and the blood moon and the eclipse that happened, 5 times in the last, 10 years? And even if I accept literally everything that you said as factual, what the fuck? I think I got to go. I'm not making fun of Ron. I like Ron. I would just like to know. I would like to be let in on the conversation that's being had. Especially if I'm supposed to be a major part in it and I'm arguing with you, using tricks on you. But I think I gotta go. And maybe when I watch this back, because I never watched my shows back, but on this one, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch this, and I'm gonna watch it, and because it had to be something. I missed something. Had to be. All right, but back to, I don't know how we got, I don't even know where we were there. And I don't remember how we got to Anthony Edwards, sorry. He's an NBA player. I don't remember how we got to him. But I disagree with the people who say, well, I don't really disagree. I think it's bad to not have anything to do with your child. But I think I appreciate, I feel like that's being a man's right advocate, a male rights advocate. He's taking control of his life for what he wants in his life. And I'm sorry that the child will end up being the victim, just like they're the victim when they're killed. So I'm sorry that the child will end up being the victim. But he's taking control of his life. If he didn't want the child, what, now you just gonna force him to raise a child? Ain't that what women are against? Women should 100% be on Anthony Edwards' team on this one. You gonna force that man to raise a child that he don't want? Yeah, that's the dude who paid the child support up until 18. He said, I don't want a child, but you had one. Here is the money to pay for it. I'm out. I don't want to meet the kid. I don't want to be around the kid. I don't want to know the kid. None of that stuff. I'm choosing what's best for my life. And women should be 100% with that. He gets to make the decisions for his life. Women should be with that 100%. But, that's just the way I see it. That's just the way I see it. But I understand, if you see different things. Mary says, stop having unprotected sex. Is that what we say to women? When we argue for their right to their abortion? Well, then just stop having sex. Then don't make that same argument with men. They both had sex. Now, they both had a choice. She had the choice. She could have gotten rid of the pregnancy if she did not want to be a parent. That was her choice. She chose not to. Now, he had the choice. He cannot be involved if he does not want to be a parent. That's his choice. So don't condemn him with, well, then just stop having sex. Tell that to women too. If you don't want a baby, don't be having abortions. Just stop having unprotected sex. But that would be wrong to say, wouldn't it? It was her egg. Mary says it's his sperm cover up Jimmy. It was her egg. All them women out there having abortions, it's your egg. Just cover it up. But nobody says that to them. Jerica says, however, sir, having unprotected sex can lead to children. She did want to be a parent, and he didn't. So he's exercising his choice. So don't be mad at him for exercising his choice. I don't like it. Just like I don't like women having abortions. I think it's bad. I think it's wrong. I think it's immoral. I think it's murder. So how I'm going to say, it's okay for you, woman, female, it's okay for you to murder, but it's not okay for you, male, to ignore. I'm going to just tell you about me. Don't murder me. Just ignore me. Fireworks. I'm not doing thumbs up. Don't murder me. I would much rather you just ignore me. I would much rather not be murdered and be ignored. And Jerica, all of those women who had abortions should not have had unprotected sex, but they did. So is that what you say to women? When we talk about women having abortions, is that your answer? Shouldn't have had unprotected sex then. No, that's never the answer to women. Oh, she got her, it's her body, it's her choice. She made a choice. She has a choice in what she wants to do. It's her choice. Again, I think they both wrong. I think you're wrong when you kill the baby, and you're wrong when you ignore the baby. I think they're both wrong. I think they're wrong on different levels because I think, again, killing is much worse than ignoring. But if she get a choice, damn it, he get a choice. And he's exercising his choice, and now people mad. Now people mad. I get it. I get people be mad. I get people mad. Because it's wrong. I be equally mad with women when they get abortions. So, yeah, it's wrong. And what he's doing is wrong. But if we give women a pass to murder their baby, then you got to give men a pass to ignore the baby. They both wrong. It was something else that we was talking about though. Oh, I was talking about y'all just throwing y'all rights away. That's the other thing that we were talking about. And I guess to kind of put a bow on that, if you want to throw your rights away and not exercise them, you have a right, ironically enough, to not exercise your rights. Nat says, I can. You really thought your argument out to the full conclusion. Janice says, his choice is to not plant the seed. Her plan is to not be the ground that the seed is planted in. Because if he take it, you know what I'm saying, that's sexual assault. She had to be a willing participant. She could have said, you're not putting your seed in my ground. And guess what? That seed wouldn't have been in that ground. So they both had the same choice. Don't try to minimize the woman's choice in that, because if anything, her choice is the choice that matters. Oh, he could have not planted the seed. She could have not let him plant the seed. All she had to say was no. No. They both had the option to say no. Look, I know to some of y'all it sounds crazy to put the same burden on both male and female when it comes to that. It sounds crazy. How dare you hold both parties to the same standard? How dare you look at both people and say, y'all didn't have to have sex? How dare you look at both people and say, you get to decide how you interact with the product of that sex? You both get to do wrong if you want to do wrong. Both of you get to harm this innocent child. And if you choose to harm this innocent child, you're both wrong. How dare you hold both people to the same standard? Because nobody does that. Nobody does that. The woman chose to be left. Janice says you can't because the woman is left with the product. The woman chose to be left with the product. Like I said, she had a choice. She could get rid of the product or she could keep the product. She chose to keep it. Now, he's got a choice now. You can be a part of the life of the product or you can ignore the life of the product. He's choosing to ignore it. Brent.
Hey, what's going on, E-Man?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. You're not going for a 5-hour show today?
No, man, I'm about to wrap this up.
All right. Well, I can keep it quick. One quick point. Before we was talking about the 100 men versus a gorilla.
Yeah.
Conversation that you're having. Well, I posted on the Friends page where a lady was talking about, someone was saying, well, what about 100 women versus accountability? And that sort of ties into what you're talking about right now. So I don't know if I'm team 100 men or team 100 women, which would come out on top. I don't know. But that's all I got.
All right.
You take it easy.
Brent, I appreciate you, Carl. All right, that was Brent. That's all he got. And I think that's all I got to. Here's my last thing on this. This would be my desire. Don't have premarital and or unprotected sex. Okay, the reality is that in today's society, a lot of people are having premarital and unprotected sex. My desire is, if you choose to do that, choose to appropriately. Now, this is my definition of appropriately, but choose to appropriately deal with the consequences of your actions. I don't think it's appropriate to kill the baby as the dealing with the consequence of the actions. Keep that baby. Have that baby. Love that baby. Raise that baby. Man, same. If you produce a baby, love that baby. Take care of that baby to the best of your ability. Be there for that baby just in every way that you can. Positively. That's my desire. And both parties can do that. Period. Yes, y'all both have a choice. Choose life, love, happiness for that child. That would be my desire. And then we could look at both parties and say, y'all both did the best y'all could. Y'all made a decision early on that I don't personally think you should have made. But you did, and then you were responsible and you dealt with it. And at the end of the day, there's a beautiful child who's happy, healthy, loved, appreciated, being raised to the best of the ability of the parents, both parents, working in harmony. That would be my decision. I don't make no excuses for either one. Oh, all right, y'all. I got to get out of here. I got a call coming in. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I plan on being here tomorrow. Probably around 3:30. Yes, because of you. Probably around 3:30. I appreciate y'all. As always, have a good evening and be the reason that somebody smiles. Till next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.